Social Media Club. I'm Jessica Murray, your community manager, and today I'm joined with Ja-Naé Duane, author of How to Create a Revolution, a step-by-step guide to history's social influencers. I'm very excited to have Ja-Naé with us because, as you saw in our introductory post to Our Revolution Week, which kicks off this Thursday, which is celebrating Ja-Naé's new book that's slated to release. What we're especially excited about is Ja-Naé actually selected Social Media Club as one of 5 beneficiaries to receive proceeds from the book. So included are Invisible People and some very deserving nonprofits, and we're just incredibly grateful to have been selected. So thank you, Ja-Naé. So we invited you here to not only tell us about the Our Revolution Week, which we're stoked about, but talk about social good, talk about social influencers, and tell us about the road trip that you took last year. So I just kind of want to kick it off and tell us a little bit about the Our Revolution Week and a little bit about the book.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you, Jess, for having me on after many technical difficulties on both ends, but I love it. Yeah, a little bit about the week. It actually came from the book. The book started off, many moons ago about way before Occupy, way before what happened with Arab Spring, and it was going to be around the Boston revolutionaries, and it ended up springing into this story of everyday heroes throughout history and how they were able to achieve what they were able to achieve through their social influence. So the book walks through different examples from days of old, as well as examples of today. People who are, everyday people like you and I, who are really creating change in how they're doing it, what's actually making that happen. And so the book tells the stories, but then also walks step by step through how you can actually create your own revolution and garner your own social influence. So, I'm really excited about that. And that led to, all right, how are we going to promote this book? It's one thing to say, hey, I have a book, come, share the love. Yay! But that's not really at the heart of what the Our Revolution Project's been about and what I'm about. So after some brainstorming, we said, you know what? Why don't we create some packages and crowdsource and see whether or not we can raise some money for charities and nonprofits that are really doing some great things in today's time. So Social Media Club being one of them, because I love the work that you guys do, along with Invisible People, Kids Need to Read, Forward Arts, who are out of Detroit, whom ended up hosting us while we were in Detroit during the road trip, and then Big Damn Fan Films are the 5 nonprofits. So really excited to try to raise. Our goal is $50K for these 5 charities. So
very cool.
Yeah, we're really excited.
And then people who are buying the book also get to select which charity that they want their donation to go to. So I think that's awesome too, giving, really power. So not only do they get the good karma points and get to help a nonprofit, but then they're also receiving some really valuable tactical, educational content from the Our Revolution book. So you mentioned Detroit. I know that we're going to be doing a series of interviews, which we will all be filming tonight, because I finally have you in front of me tonight. But we are going to be talking about a couple of the cities, giving a little bit of case study, deeper dive, and talking about the social good that's existing across Detroit, Delaware, DC, and Philly, among which are some of our largest social media club chapters. But, those were also some of the most compelling stories that you really wanted to share. So tonight we're going to do a deep dive into Detroit. So I kind of want you to tell me a little bit the road trip. You went to 22 cities, I know that. I know that you stayed with me when you came through Chicago, had a little car trouble, so no road trip is a road trip without some cars breaking down and maybe some switching of vehicles, some driving around to find rentals. It makes for a good story. But so you went to Detroit after Chicago, and what was your experience there? What was the social good, the influence, and kind of the compelling community that you met there?
Oh, it was out of this world. And I just have to say, for those who are watching, that Jessica is the epitome of community. I had never met Jess before, and She was gracious enough to open up her home. We ended up blowing our engine, not any fault of our own, but
it was Topher's fault. We'll just blame Topher.
Yeah, we can blame Topher, poor Topher. But I do want to say that if you do not know Jess Murray, you need to know her personally, because this woman is a rock star who I am extremely grateful for on so many levels. So I want to give you a shout out to
thank you.
all of your peeps. But who we met in Detroit was this amazing turning point for me. And actually the whole Our Revolution story really starts in Detroit. When I was speaking at the 140 conference, I went around and I didn't know what I was going to speak about. I just knew I was going to speak about creating revolutions. And I ended up meeting 2 parking attendants, two homeless people, and a shop owner. And they all said, despite what you hear about Detroit. And I thought, wow, how disheartened you must be that you feel that you have to defend your city to a complete stranger. And so that's actually what got me on this kick of looking for the good that is occurring in these communities. So it was nice to come full circle and come back to Detroit. I ended up meeting Dominic, who is the executive director of Forward Arts, who is one of our charities. And between he and Brian Fenster, who ends up running Detroit Nation, these guys brought me around and really introduced me to a bunch of nonprofits doing great work and individuals who are really trying to rebuild the city on many levels. One of the places that we ended up going, which was great because it allowed me to interview a bunch of people, was Hostel Detroit. And this was Detroit's first hostel, and it was their grand opening party, which was really cool. And for those of you who don't know, Hostel Detroit, their main purpose is really to provide a safe and affordable accommodation for anyone who is coming to Detroit, while educating their patrons about the city. So they don't only want to bring you in, they want you to get to know what that city's about. And I felt that was really cool. Also, the stuff that Forward Arts is doing is great because their aim is really to grow and sustain and preserve Detroit's vibrant arts community and industries. But they do that by integrating themselves into existing parks. They have a lot of city installations. They're all about the integration of art into the community, which I found, as an artist myself, it just really hit home. And it allows for people to have their personal expression while they're building up their city. So those are 2 really great examples of people doing great stuff within Detroit. And the numbers are pretty vast. There's a lot of people really passionate about making Detroit into a renaissance, which to me, I would say that it's starting to thrive that way.
Yeah, and I know that, I mean, in our conversations offline as well, and what you just mentioned about sustainability, I think that that's kind of the maybe secret sauce across all of these nonprofits and charities that you're working with, or even, if they don't have an official designation as a nonprofit, these organizations, these causes that you're focusing on are often, don't have a lot of resources, whether financial or access. So tell us some creative ways that they're using their social influence, and maybe, how they're actually, they're getting people to take action.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say across the board, what I've noticed is that these people are utilizing their networks both online and offline. So everyone has an online presence, particularly on Facebook. Facebook is a large core of their online presence for each of them. And what they're doing is that they're really using that as a tool to aggregate their message out. They are also incorporating social into their events. So, I know that Detroit Nation incorporated a lot of social. They ended up incorporating some video, sharing that out, also having hashtags around their events. They're very socially inclined. But at the end of the day, they know, all of these examples know that no matter what, for every person, that person has an extended network. And they may not be just close friends, but they're close friends, they're coworkers, they're, they're colleagues, they're, maybe distant family members. Either way, for every person you reach out to, there's an extended network. And though they might not know, say you're reaching out to someone specifically, they might not be able to help you personally, but then bring it a step further and say, that's great, you might not be able to help me, but who do you know who can? And that's the thing, is that many people don't think, wait a minute, I have this whole network at my fingertips. How can I reach out and build out and help in that way? So what's great is that each of these guys are either asking their network to share out to their extended networks, asking them to retweet, sharing out links. Again, it's all about the ask. People are willing to help in a way that they feel comfortable, but all you have to do is ask. And all these guys are doing that.
So outside of the ask and people being able to lend their, effort and help that way, what are other things that you think are motivating the people? Is it rallying behind a great cause like the city of Detroit, or give us some examples?
Yeah, absolutely. What all of these guys do really well, and for brands who are really trying to influence, before you start, you have to ask yourself, okay, what am I really trying to change? What type of behavior am I trying to motivate? Because when you think about social influence, it's not about a clout score. Social influence is the ability to persuade a desired group behavior, either online or offline, or both. So for brands, some of the secrets are, really making sure that you are personally connecting with the person or people that you're trying to get them to motivate them to do something for you. And really, when you think about it, you want to think of it in sort of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you can actually deal or connect your story with either their safety or their wanting or need to belong, their self-esteem or their esteem, and how they're trying to self-actualize, that's how you're going to get people. People don't connect with brands, they connect with people. And these Detroit stories, they do a really great job because of the fact that they know their audience. They know how their audience will connect. And so they use those motivational points in order to get people to help create change. What they also do, and what I also recommend for brands or people alike, is to really harness peer pressure or social proof. No one wants to be the first person to act. They always wait for someone to do something. People really need to see others doing it. So by really incorporating those key people that you have already on your team or working closely with you, getting them to get the ball rolling will help to harness that peer pressure and build up social proof of, hey, oh, wait, there's other people who are joining this. I can help, or I can do this. I'm not alone. There are others who really believe in this as well. Also, I highly, highly recommend designing rewards. Offering rewards to those who help get the word out is a really great way to show your appreciation. But, it makes it fun for people. They feel that there's this reciprocity that, hey, I've helped, but I've also gotten a little something too. And that makes me feel good. So you always want to make the people that are helping you feel good in order to motivate that changed behavior.
Yeah, and everybody likes something tangible. I have a lot of T-shirts.
You and me both, let me tell you.
So tell me where we can learn more and pick up the book and learn more about our revolution.
Absolutely. You can go to ourrevolution.co. And we will have links right on the homepage where you can click on, and we'll have different packages depending on what type of revolution you're looking to start, and donate to the social media club. So
that would be awesome. And if it's not SMC, you know, we know all of those other charities are incredibly deserving too. So we're just very appreciative and grateful to have been included. And so all the links will be down below, and you can connect with Ja-Naé Duane at the Sun Queen on Twitter. And again, all the links will be down below. And check out all of the rest of our series of interviews with Ja-Naé, talking about more of our revolution, and featuring some really great cities with some really compelling social good causes and campaigns across this week. And join her for our Revolution Week starting this Thursday through Thursday, May 10th. And again, be tweeting #RRev, #RRev, and at the Sun Queen on Twitter for starting Thursday, okay? Thanks for joining us.